Welcome back, folks. In the last video, we talked about how to glow an LED using a 3-volt battery. You simply do that by connecting the positive of the battery to the positive of the LED and the negative of the LED to the negative of the battery. The issue over here is that you can't always be holding this in your fingers, and you can't be making more complex circuits by holding them in your hands. So to be able to make our lives easier, we're going to introduce you to a very cool component called a breadboard. This breadboard helps us to be able to create many more complex prototypes of our circuits. So if you have like multiple components going on, this breadboard will help you connect them and be able to create a prototype circuit. Let's look at it for a second. In this breadboard, there are multiple holes which we'll talk about. We'll also talk about how they're connected to each other. But before that, let's talk about a few other essential components that we're going to need. We're going to need a battery holder along with the battery, an LED, and a few jumper cables. These jumper cables that you can see in your kit have lead extruding out of it on both the ends. These jumper cables are called male-to-male. There are also a few different kind of jumper cables inside your kit which don't have a lead sticking out from them. We're not going to be using them in this video. Those are called male-to-female or female-to-female. So let's set up this circuit and then we'll talk a little bit more about how a breadboard works. First, I'm going to take the battery holder and I'm going to place it just something like so that the male or ends of the breadboard are nicely inside the breadboard. And notice this, that I put the positive side, which is this side of the battery holder, on one side of the breadboard and the negative side on the other side. This centerpiece is basically in the center, which is dividing the breadboard into its left side and the right side. And hence no connection can happen between this part and this part of the breadboard. So next, I'm going to go ahead and try and put a battery in there. So now we have 3 volts of supply going through the breadboard. And then I'm going to take the positive of the LED and the negative of the LED this way. And once again, I'm going to put them in a way that the positive is on the left side and the negative is on the right side. Okay. And voila, nothing happened. What happened over there? Why didn't this LED light up? And that's another important part about the breadboard. If you look very carefully in the breadboard, these dots or these holes that you can see are all connected in a horizontal fashion. They're not connected in a vertical fashion. So all of these are connected and conduct electricity. However, these points in a vertical manner are not connected to each other. Plus, this piece in the center disconnects this row from this row. So this column is not connected. This row where the positive is connected. Okay, just to be able to demonstrate that, I'm going to go ahead and put this red color jumper wire, you can use any color, it does not matter, on the positive side by connecting it just about over here, a random pin on this row, and connecting it to the positive to the battery. I'll do the same thing on the negative side. I'll connect the negative of the battery to a random pin on the same row as the negative lead of the LED. And voila, we have completed a circuit and it works. This is one very basic circuit. We're going to make these circuits more and more complex, but first I want you to go ahead and practice this on your breadboard using an LED and a battery and a few jumper wires.